Welcome, episode 82.
No.
On this week's episode,
We're going to talk about how Chris messed that up.
oh,
Take number 4.
that's such a good opening.
I know you did.
On this week's episode,
No, I'm good.
we'll go with it. What you didn't have anything? What the heck?
Yeah. I like on this week's episode instead of on tonight's episode. Because like you go through like the last 20 videos and it's like on tonight's episode. And it's the same thing over and over and over again.
You know, yeah.
Okay. On episode 82, we're going to talk about the new TRX 6.
And we've got some setup station tips.
Yeah, we're going to get you balanced.
Oh,
Welcome. Episode number 82.
82.
Ultra RC Hobby Show. He's Chris.
He's Aaron.
We're here. We're live. Not really.
Well, technically, everything's live when it's recorded.
I mean, that is true.
You ever thought about that?
Yeah, you're not wrong. So on tonight's episode, we're going to give you some tips and tricks on setup. And we're probably going to be doing like a 2 or 3 week episode and parts of this because it is going to be kind of long.
Yep.
And there's a couple clips I do want to throw in there from some previous episodes on, balancing stuff out. And we're going to talk about camber, caster, all that good stuff.
How are you balancing stuff out, Aaron?
With the scale system.
Oh, you got that Skyrc weight distribution system?
You unboxed it
yeah, I picked one
many
of those up
episodes
a few
ago.
months ago.
Yep. But tonight we're going to talk about it a little more in depth. We're not going to do an unboxing. We might just throw the unboxing that he did a while ago. And then we're going to show you some things that we've learned over the time we've had the weight system. So
I think it's a great investment. I'm glad you finally got one. I think it's gonna open your eyes up a little bit more. Not like you need any more help, right?
Well, I mean, the cool thing
It's gonna be
is
faster, folks.
the cool thing is it's like I was checking some of my old cars from last year, and like I was really focused on making it look really clean, wiring wise, and then
But
it's
your
like
weight was a little bit off.
yeah, it
because
wasn't the
of it.
same left and
Yeah.
right or front and back, and I'm like I get on a 2-wheel drive car, you're not going to get the weight front and back 50-50. I get that, but like the closer you can get it left to right, and the more you really look at the down travel your shocks like droop, the more you look at your cambers at proper ride heights left to right of the chassis, it makes a big difference on how the car gains camber, how the car's going to roll in the corners, how all that stuff is going to be affected. So here's some setup tips and tricks that we've learned, and we're going to walk you through kind of some episodes.
Weight definitely holds a lot of weight.
That's too soon. Okay, so we're here. We're at my personal work area. It's a little bit different than the store. But we're here to talk about the new Skyrc corner weight system. So many of you may know, many of you may not know, but this is something we used to do all the time when it came to full-size race car stuff. So we used to race asphalt late models and pro trucks at the Wine Creek Raceway, so the oval track here just on the way to Martinsville. And this is something we did pretty religiously, making sure that the truck or the car was set up properly, making sure you had the proper cross weight, so the weight between left and right to the rear, and then right front, left front. And the difference in the percentage of that would actually affect the handling of the race car. So these are a little bit different. Obviously, with the RC car, we turn left and right. So you want to make sure that the car is equally balanced. I think the biggest one, especially if you're looking, say, 2-wheel drive buggy, there's my new B61. But if you're looking like, say, 2-wheel drive buggy, you want to make sure that the car is really balanced left to right, which is something we're going to look at. I know I built a whole bunch of cars and wired them and did all that stuff. So we're going to check out, see what like moving electronics does, see what moving stuff forward and backwards does, and it's going to be kind of a cool series what we're going to do. So I think we're going to call this like getting ready for a race season or getting a new car built or something like that. So first things first, something that I really recommend is always A, have your manual with you, or B, have a setup sheet. So this is my setup sheet from the last race day of 2018 in the indoor track. So the biggest thing is make notes. If you change stuff, make notes. If you don't and you break something and you try and go back to your setup, it's not going to be right. So, I mean, this is the big one. All the other races are probably watching this. Taking on my setup, but whatever. I have something new for this year, but this is going to be the car that I give Katie, and she's going to run it. So that's the biggest thing. So first tip is going to take notes. If you look in the back of your manual, which I'll just grab a manual here. Boom, B61D. If you look at the back of the manual, and this is on like any race kit, or you can find these online as well, you're going to get a pre-filled manual and a pre-filled setup in the back of your manual that gives you absolutely everything for, you know, doing shocks. So it's shock oil, springs, everything you need, shock position, all of the insert position, all of that stuff. Plus they give you a free one that's blank. So the cool thing is you can either photocopy this, or these are all downloadable off the site. I highly recommend building a binder, which obviously I have here, and I put notes on the back of things and do a whole bunch of stuff. I also have setups from other people, so other people at our track, other people from other tracks, you know, trying to get a really good idea on what works, and if say someone breaks something, I know exactly what's going down. So that is the first like pro tip I will give you. So let's get the car on the scales and kind of how we get the cars ready to go on the scales, and let's see what we got. So the next step with doing the scale system is going to be setting our ride height. So we sell these ride height gauges. This is an Aeromax one. It's really nice, and this is the smaller Gia one. So we at the shop we carry these ones, and you can see there's numbers on them and there's an arrow. So the cool thing is, can't really do this with one hand, but there we go. So it twists out, and it went from 20 millimeters all the way up to 24. So I know this car, we ran like 20 to 21 millimeters of ride height. So the cool thing with this gauge is you just slide it right under the chassis, and it touches. So I mean, there's definitely no play there. And on the front, just slide it right underneath. A little bit of play. So the front's a little bit higher, but that's cool. So we have those all set up, and like I said, we do have the Aeromax ones in the shop. They work awesome for short course trucks and two-wheel drives and a whole bunch of other cool things like that. So now that we have our ride height set, we have a battery in it, we have a battery in the location we always ran it, all the electronics are in the car, we can get it on the scales and set up. So before, this car is obviously all set up from last year, but if it wasn't set up and we wanted to, you know, maybe get it ready before we put it on the track, we can always go back and grab our handy dandy hudy setup system. So this is something that we do at the shop lots for a lot of people, as you can see through the notebook. We have a lot of different setups for a lot of people and things like that. So if you want to bring a car in, make sure it's square, make sure it's ready to go for the indoor or the outdoor season. It would be a perfect time to get it done now, but let's get this baby on the scales and see what we're working with left to right. Okay, so we have the scale system, the main pretty much control panel turned on. So all the scale pads are zeroed right now, so the biggest thing that you want to do is just clear them just to make sure everything's good. So we're good to go there. So let's get the car on the scales and see what it does. I mean, we could always test the scale pads if they work before we put the car on. So let's put some weight on the front left, goes up, front right, goes up, right rear, goes up, left rear goes up. So we definitely know all the scale pads are functioning and working. So let's get the car on the scales and see what it does. So the biggest thing is we just want to make sure that the tires are pretty centered within the scale pads, and they're definitely not too far off to the left or the right, or you got a tire hanging off. So these are our current numbers, which is not terrible. We're pretty darn close to having actually a good cross weight. So we have front right and front right and left rear. I hate that they have these all backwards. Normally on the race car it's, you know, right front, left rear, right rear. So they just have the numbers flipped around. So it's a little bit different for me, but as you can see, the weight's pretty darn close. It's within 10 grams to the front of the back, which is really cool. Or cross weight, sorry. Where we have front weight at 39% and rear weight at 61%. So you can definitely do some tuning with that. Also, a thing that will make a difference is when you adjust your preload. So you can see that the right rear has 465.4 grams of weight holding on that corner of car, where the left rear only has 457 grams. What we can do is actually turn in the spring collar, and that amount of weight will actually go up. We can kind of even out the car that way. So you can see we made a pretty big swing. It's not going to take too much. So just within a couple turns of the shock collar, we're evening out the weight of each tire and how much load it's going to take. So that's going to make a huge difference in car handling when you can get it the same left to right. So there's going to be a lot of tuning with that. especially when the car wants to roll, you always want to make sure it rolls evenly left to right, and that's really where like shock droops and things like that come into play, where you want to make sure that the car is going to actually roll the same left to right, or the shock's going to come out of the shock shaft evenly. So that's definitely one big thing to do. So let's move some weight around and see what we can do. So you can definitely probably move this speed control forward, and we can probably move this receiver forward and see what kind of weight we can get. So I think maybe a little bit more than 39% wouldn't be a bad thing. So let's see what we got. So
Yes.
we got the new TRX-6.
This thing is awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I really am excited. So Chris and I are going to unbox
I
it.
might buy one.
And you're going to see it right meow. 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 So yeah, we got a pretty decent hill climb. It's super steep, but I guess the hard part with this hill climb is when you get right to the top, it has like a nice jagged flat edge. You can see it's like nice, 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 and then you get right to the top, right about there, and it's pretty much like straight up. So we'll see what happens. Chris is gonna attempt it. It's pretty loose, man. Shoot dang fart. You are stuck in the hole. What are you saying? You're gonna hit me with your truck? 14 pounds coming down the hill. It's working hard down there. Oh. Dirk, you're bullying everyone down the hill. I gotcha, I gotcha. Ugh. Ethan! You're grabbing your truck to put it back on the wheels, friend.
Hey Aaron, I got a gift for you. Oh,
What?
very nice.
Not so very nice. Don't step in that.
Very nice. You like
So, Chris, it's kind of lackluster, man. You haven't made it up very far. We are done. Episode number 82.
Yes.
Womp womp
Womp womp womp. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, we tried.
Yeah.
But to keep you going till next episode, make sure to check out all our social media platforms. Check him out, RC Deebs, at YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
And if you liked this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep. Don't forget to check all of our social media platforms, Ultra RC Hobbies, Instagram, Facebook. You're obviously watching this on YouTube. Don't forget to hit us up on Snapchat too. Don't forget to check out our website, www.ultrarchobbies.com. Don't forget to check out our swag. Ultra RC Hobbies swag. It's Chris's beautifully modeling off this Team Ultra RC Hobby shirt. These are limited edition. We are going to be doing limited edition sweatshirts in the future as well. So don't forget to check out the posts on Facebook about that. But yeah, that is the end.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. You don't have a hat. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Bye, Chris. Bye, Chris.
More here!